On June 24th of 2016, the police were called to the Sheats family residence. When they found out what happened, it would shock the entire town. This is the case of Christy Sheats. Hello, friend, and welcome to High Time Crime. My name's Joel, and on here I specialize in true crime and also skiing. I'm remarkably good at this! But today, we're going to go over the case of Christy Sheats and what she did to her family. You're going to learn how awful of a person she was, but she hid it pretty well. For our story today, we're heading to a place called Katy, Texas. Now, Katy is a city that's west of Houston, about 30 miles away, and has a pretty small population of around 22,000 people. It was formerly settled in the mid-1890s and was a railroad town along the MKT Railroad, Missouri, Kansas, and Texas. This is how Katy got its name and was commonly referred to as the KT. It has hot to humid summers and generally mild to cool winters, so if you find yourself in the area, there's a couple things to do. You could go to the Typhoon, Texas water park during one of those humid days and cool yourself down. You could go and take a walk at the Mary Jo Peckham Park and possibly see a duck. You could even take a trip to the Katy Heritage Museum and learn all about the city. How fun. But that's not why we're there today. Christy Bird Sheats was born on May 2nd of 1974 in Decatur, Alabama. I'm not too sure who her parents were, but she had a great relationship with her grandparents, and specifically her grandfather. She called him Pawpaw and was incredibly close to him. Christy was considered normal and an outgoing person who was generally well-liked. When she got to high school, she met a man named Jason Ray Sheats. While Christy went to Austin High School, Jason went to East Lawrence High School, which was in Trinity, about 15 minutes away. And it wasn't long before the two of them started dating. Jason was born on June 24th of 1971, and he was also a well-liked guy. His birthday actually comes into play a little bit later. In high school, he was a standout baseball player. His coach, Don Smith, said that he was intelligent and the best pitcher that he's ever coached. Christy didn't graduate high school as she only went from 1989 to 1991, but Jason did graduate. They ended up getting married shortly after, and it wasn't long before they had their first child while still living in Alabama. They had moved from Decatur to Huntsville and had a baby girl named Taylor Ashton Sheats. She was born on April 19th of 1994, and we'll dive deeper into her in a little bit. Christy and Jason would move from Huntsville to Coleman and then have another baby girl named Madison Tyler Sheats. She was born on October 21st of 1998, and we'll dive deeper into her in a little bit as well. Soon the family would pack their bags and move from Coleman, Alabama to Katy, Texas. While they were there, Christy bounced around jobs like crazy. She worked as a business manager at Clean Canvas Laser, which was a tattoo removal company. She used to own her own business called Patches and Pink Pickles. I'm so curious about this. What did she sell? Christy also worked as an executive assistant, a marketing assistant, and a hairstylist. She wasn't very good at any of her jobs and couldn't hold one down. She was a strict mom who was controlling, while Jason was a cool dad who was more on the laid-back side. Christy wanted to know where and what her children were doing at all times of the day. By the time that 2012 came around, she started to have mental health issues. On June 8th of this same year, her pawpaw would pass away. She was incredibly close to him, and this would devastate her. He didn't leave her much for inheritance, but she did receive a 5-shot 38 caliber revolver. Only 2 months later, her mother would end up passing away, and this would make Christy's mental health really start to go down the drain. She was drinking like crazy, and things started to get worse and worse. Between 2012 to 2016, the police were called to the Sheats residence a total of 13 times. 5 of these calls were residential alarms, meaning that they were accidental, but 3 calls were for endgame attempts, and 1 was even for a verbal altercation. By this time, Christy was completely unstable. Her marriage was in shambles, and her and Jason would be on and off pretty consistently, and this would really affect their daughters. Their oldest daughter, Taylor, graduated in 2012 from Seven Lakes High School. She was a member of the National Honor Society and the Future Healthcare Professionals. She played softball during her freshman and sophomore years while in high school. She went to college at Lone Star and graduated cum laude with an associate's degree. This means that she graduated with high praise. Taylor made the Dean's List and President's List multiple times. While in college, she was a member of the Phi Theta Kappa. This is an international honor society of students who are attending open access institutions and seeking associate's degrees. In 2016, she ended up enrolling at the University of Houston to pursue a degree and career in medical diagnostic sonography. Taylor was a very smart girl who liked to go to church. She was also an amazing babysitter and professional nanny on the side. She loved to help each child along and loved reading to them. She was an accomplished artist and loved to sketch portraits, cartoons, and anything else she could. Taylor had a great sense of humor and was considered to be very independent and a caring, supportive friend to many. On December 2nd of 2011, she began dating a man named Juan Lugo, and they were a really good couple. They actually got engaged and were very close to being married. Juan was the love of her life as she was his. In 2016, Taylor was 22 years old. Christy and Jason's youngest daughter, Madison, was 17 years old, and she was about to go into her senior year at Seven Lakes High School. She too, like her sister, was a part of the National Honor Society, but she was also a part of the Spanish National Honor Society. She had a very giving heart and enjoyed to volunteer through clubs at her school. Madison was an awesome babysitter and dog sitter. She was intelligent and funny and genuinely just a sweet girl. She liked to get up early in the morning to get her day started and loved cooking breakfast. Madison was true and honest with herself and was a loyal and amazing friend to many people. What happens next is so hard to understand or grasp that it just doesn't make any sense. Like I said before, Christy's mental health had really started to deteriorate. She applied for a handgun license and was denied. In Texas, she was denied a handgun license. That's alarming by itself. She was also a very vocal advocate for the Second Amendment and posted on Facebook like it was her job. She made multiple posts about gun rights and other interesting things. It would be horribly tragic if my ability to protect myself or my family were to be taken away, but that's exactly what Democrats are determined to do by banning semi-automatic handguns. This specific post is incredibly ironic, and we'll get to that soon. Christy on social media showed that she really loved her daughters. They were like the apple to her pie. She made posts like this one. Happy Daughter's Day to my two amazing, sweet, kind, beautiful, intelligent girls. I love and treasure you both more than you could ever possibly know. While her daughters would make posts like this one.
Mom, you are so selfless, as you always put our whole family before yourself and never ask for anything in return. You're so kind and loving, as you always remind us of just how much you care and how proud you are of everything we do. You're so intelligent and fun to be around because I feel like I can talk to you for forever now about anything. You're one of the strongest people I know, if not the strongest. And you have had to overcome so much in your life, but you still manage to love us and put your everything into being a mom. You're so encouraging, as you always push us to do our absolute best even when we can't muster up the strength to do it ourselves. You're such a blessing to have as a mother and a friend. I truly appreciate you and all that you do. Happy Mother's Day to my amazing mommy, and I love you.
It was clear that they seemed to have a good relationship, and I don't think that anyone knew how evil Christy was capable of being. For 4 years, after her mental health started to really deteriorate, she was treated at 3 different mental health facilities. She was also on several medications for depression and anxiety. Christy and Jason's relationship was very on and off, and at this point, Jason had finally had enough. He wanted out of the marriage and wanted a divorce. Taylor, their oldest daughter, was ready to get married on Monday, June 27th of 2016. Her and her fiance of 5 years, Juan, were about to get married in a small ceremony. They planned to have a larger ceremony after Taylor graduated from college, but sadly, none of those days would ever come. And to be specific, 3 days before Taylor and Juan were supposed to get married, on Friday, June 24th, Christy lost control. This was also Jason's 45th birthday, and he received the worst present he could have possibly ever gotten. Christy and Taylor had gotten into an argument, and Christy wanted to ground her, and her punishment was that she wasn't allowed to see her fiance. Taylor was 22 years old and an adult, and Jason found this ridiculous. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Jason disagreed with Christy's decision though, and in their backyard, he told her he wanted a divorce. He also said to her, "This is going to be the last birthday that you're going to ruin," and he was absolutely correct. Christy decided to call a family meeting in their living room with Jason and their 2 daughters. Jason assumed that she was going to bring up the divorce to their girls and they were just going to go from there. But when they all got together, Christy pulled out a 5-shot 38 caliber revolver, the same one her grandfather had left her 4 years prior. At this point, all hell breaks loose and she goes crazy. She pointed the gun at Jason and said, "You made me do this. You're making me do this." There was then 3 911 calls made in about a 5-minute span. We have 2 from both daughters, Taylor and Madison, and another one from one of their neighbors. The calls are rather upsetting, so just a heads up.
Corporate 911, you need to... Please forgive me, I'm sorry. Hello? Hello? Hello?
I promise you, whatever you want, I will.
Corporate 911, do you need police, fire, or EMS? Hello? Hello?
Wait,
911, do you need police, fire, EMS?
Yes, we need an ambulance right away. That two people believe they're shot.
Okay, stay on the line. Okay, you think they got shot, you say?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, stay on the line.
And there's a lady with a gun.
There's a lady with a gun? Where?
Yes, it's coming out of the house right now. Two
Okay.
people shot outside.
Okay.
People shot outside.
Okay, where's the lady with the gun?
Coming out of, it's on the street right now.
Is she still shooting?
No, it's not shooting, but it's the gun in her hand. I ran to the back of my house.
Okay, who do you know who the lady is?
They're my neighbors. I don't.
Okay, and the people that she shot, are do you know them? Are
No,
are
ma'am.
they her? Okay.
Abre la puerta ya.
Are you with the patients right now?
No, because the lady
Okay.
with the gun
What
came
is she
out. I
wearing?
had to run.
Describe her for me. What is she wearing? Can you
me
describe
see.
her for me? What is she? White, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
No, she's a Caucasian.
Okay.
Go back there.
Okay. What is she wearing?
She's wearing a dress.
What color dress?
Let me try to pick to the window. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Don't put yourself in danger though. But do you remember what color her dress was?
She's wearing a purple dress.
Purple dress.
Yes.
Okay.
She's wearing a purple dress. She's on the.
Is it long, short? What is she?
She.
Where are the patients?
They're in the street. They're in the middle of the street.
Okay.
I was London.
It's 2 people laying in the street?
2 ladies laying in the street.
2 females? Okay.
Yeah, 2 females. And there's a guy trying to help them. But the lady is on the top of one of them with a gun on her hand.
Okay, but the suspect is on top of one of the females on the street?
Yeah, she's on the street, just standing up.
She's standing over at one of the patients with the gun?
Yes. And
Okay.
it looks like both of them are alive. Both of the shot person, there's
Okay.
2 ladies, they're both alive, but
Okay.
she tried to shot again. She's trying to shoot again on the top of her, but Apparently she don't have no more. Apparently she don't have any more bullets.
Okay, yeah, I do too, sir. Just stay on the line and let me know what you see. But don't.
Okay.
I don't
She's
want
going. She's going inside. She's going inside the house now. Hopefully, it's not getting any more bullets because she's looks like she's going to look for more bullets.
Okay. All right, stay on the line.
And there's I don't know where the guy went, but apparently he's yelling at her, and they're talking back and forth.
Describe the guy.
The guy is also, they're all Caucasians.
Okay. And is the
she's
male
coming
injured
out,
also?
She's coming back again. She's coming back again with apparently she has bullets now on her.
Okay. Stay on the line.
Oh, she shot her again. She shot her
She
again.
shot her again?
Yes. From the back. She was trying to run.
After Christy drew the revolver, Jason tried pleading with her and said, "Don't do this. There are kids." And he also said, "Just shoot yourself. Make it easy on all of us. Just shoot yourself." Christy replied, "No, that's not what this is about. This is about punishing you." And she then started shooting and hit both Taylor and Madison. Jason was able to get the girls behind the couch and they were able to hide for a second, and then they ran out the front door. Madison collapsed and passed away, and Taylor was able to escape for about a minute or so into the street. Christy followed them outside, specifically Taylor, and shot her again. As she was standing over top of her, the revolver ran out of ammo and she went back inside and reloaded and then returned and shot Taylor again. Taylor ended up passing away as well. Jason kept on running and was able to run all the way to the end of the cul-de-sac. A police officer arrived just shortly after 5 p.m. and demanded that Christy drop her weapon. She refused and started moving towards the officer, and he shot her one time and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The first responders found Jason down the street, and obviously he was in shock because of what he just witnessed. My heart genuinely goes out to him, and I can't even imagine what he went through. He had to watch his baby girls be taken away by someone who was supposed to be the love of his life. He did an interview shortly after this with Dr. Oz, and it was heartbreaking to say the least, but you need to watch it.
How you doing now?
Well, my life is rooted more so now than ever in my faith. And so given what is, losing the two people that I love most in my life, they were my best friends. I know what it feels like to hit the lowest point in your weakest. So I have resigned myself to trust in His grace and let Him carry me when I can't carry myself anymore.
Can I ask you about your two best friends?
Yeah.
Two beautiful daughters of yours. What would you like people to know about them? What would they like?
Lights of joy in a world full of darkness. And they loved people from every race, religion, background, color. I mean, it didn't matter. They had such pure love and joy in their hearts, and they were more than special. It's very difficult. The hardest part is not as much staying asleep. It's going to sleep. The other thing is when the person you love kills the people you love more than anything, and then shoots at you 3 times, you start to not trust anybody. I started running about a couple of years ago to lose weight, and I had these made up so that whenever I'm running...
So you got Madison
and Taylor.
Taylor, you got both their names.
And then every time I would come in and brag to them about lowering my time, they would say, it was funny how they said it, because they would say, "Oh," it was like they felt sorry for me for going through the exercise. But they said, "You go, Dad. You go," with a little comma, and Dad. And one of the it happens all the time when I'm running, but I think it applies to life in general now without them. is I think when I'm running and I can't get another breath, I think of each one of them and how each one of them specifically said that phrase to me. And every time that I think of that, I start running a little bit faster.
Juan, Taylor's fiance, was also on Dr. Oz this same day, and what he said is also very upsetting.
I know it's uncomfortable, I know it's painful. And thank you for being here. How you doing?
Well, I'm going as much as I can, honestly. There's really no words I can describe that will give you any idea of the hell I go through every day, knowing that I won't get that good morning text from her. So it's just not good whatsoever. I'm not in a good place.
Jason, you're thrilled, I understand, about the upcoming marriage.
Yes. I couldn't have picked anybody better, and I've told him this personally, so I don't think he'll mind me sharing it. He came to me after a movie and jumped in the car while Madison and Taylor were still outside, and he asked me, could he ask for her hand in marriage? And I said, I was ready to give you permission, 2.5 years ago. I said, I'd be happy to have you as my son-in-law. And there's nobody, I could have never picked a better human being who treated my daughter with respect.
Juan, have you been able to crush on Jason? You've been able to find any relief at all?
No. The issue that I have is through the 5 years that Taylor and I were together, she was the person that helped me through all this. There was this thing that I would always tell her. I told her that from the day you and I got together to the day you and I pass away, I will always be your biggest cheerleader. And she told me the same thing. So it's when I don't have that person in my life, I'm alone a lot. So relief is very hard to find. And the hardest thing is seeing my loved ones doing what they can to help me out. But I think it's unfair that I don't see that as help just because it's like she's not here. So to me, not what I want.
Taylor and Madison were young and extremely bright women with their entire lives ahead of them. They were both very talented and excelled in practically everything they did. They loved babysitting and taking care of children, and were both huge balls of light in a bit of a dim world. Taylor was 3 days away from marrying the love of her life, and Madison was 2 months away from her last year of high school. Sadly, neither of them even had the opportunity to take on what they envisioned they would. They never imagined that one of the closest people to them and someone who's supposed to help them and protect them would end up doing the worst thing possible to them. I really hope that they're resting peacefully and enjoying the life afterwards, and that their father Jason and Taylor's fiance Juan and the rest of their family are able to heal and hopefully eventually find some closure and peace. I know that Jason has gotten remarried to a woman named Monica, and I'm very happy for them, and I hope that they're doing okay. As for Christy Sheats, what an awful person. Of all of the things she could have possibly done, she decided to go that route. Jason believes she wanted to make him suffer, and I agree. She was evil, and you could see it in her manipulative eyes. She put on a front for social media left and right, claiming how she needed a gun to protect her family and how much she cherished and treasured her daughters. But yet it was her family who needed protection from her, and she was the nutcase who complained about it on Facebook. Maybe it was a good thing that she got what was coming to her pretty much instantly. There's always a special place in hell for these wicked souls who do such heinous things. So I'm really hoping that wherever she ended up, it's treating her terribly. But anyways, thank you for watching this episode of High Time Crime. If true crime is your thing, then please subscribe and hit the like button because that's all we do. I also have a second account with my brother named Horrifying, where we tell stories about everything paranormal. This includes true crime, mysteries and things that are just downright spooky. I'd greatly appreciate if you subscribe to that too. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, friend.